Welcome. I'm Trevor. It's going to be my kind of commentary on my latest track, Rano, which means in the morning, AM in Polish, kind of the same thing that AM would mean for us, just designating morning time. And I just thought it'd be fun to put it into Polish. So we're going to listen through to Rano if you haven't heard it. I know a lot of people are probably familiar with it at this point, hopefully, maybe not, if you're following me. So let's just get through. Also, spilled a little water on my shirt before this. Yep, can't see it. Yep, because I was a little nervous because this is something that's pretty new to me, doing something like this. So that'll dry. Let's go ahead and just listen through, talk about the piece. It's 2 minutes, 46 seconds. Instrumentation is pretty interesting. I think for myself, has some of my more trademarky stuff, has some stuff that's different, and we're just going to go through it. So, right from the beginning, here is Rano, and thanks for listening. Fun little piano syncopation. Just playing around with that one day, and felt like it was really feeling good. Felt very optimistic, like not complex and dark, but just clear and happy. And this melody, too, just constantly rising. Love the little flute. We all like to hear a little flute now and then. Yeah, it's a fun little riff, I think. Back to the syncopation of the piano, D major. Flute's going crazy, and then strings swelling up from the middle. And clarinet. Okay, now the whole orchestra's here. Except for two instruments that I'm saving. Marimba. Now the marimba takes over, it plays with that original piano syncopation, kind of flips it around and shortens it and lengthens it. Now everything's working together. Whole orchestra's here, except for those two instruments, banjo and guitar. Yep. Now bring everything down. Mellow everything out, take it to a different section, different chords, before this big moment coming up. And then the piano plays us out, just like the piece started. Let's just go back a little bit to this piano melody right here. Yeah, I nailed it. Selecting it. So it's just this really long, drawn out, rising melody that's just da da, constantly going up and rising. And I don't usually take that long to work out a melody in terms of like, it happens over the course of a minute almost, maybe 30, 40 seconds, because it just keeps going up and up and up. Yeah, it just keeps rising, which I really wanted to do to just like build the tension of this piece before I hit everyone with the banjo and guitar stuff coming at the end. Yeah, every moment has like an important thing happening because it's such a short piece. I feel like I need to have the orchestra swelling in when melodies are kind of shifting or taking a break and instruments are passing them around. And then I love bringing that marimba in. I love marimba. Let's pause this for a second. I love marimba just to have that. I mean, a lot of you have probably um, know that like I love using marimba just because it's percussive, but it's mellow, and I think it's underused. I mean, a lot of my favorite composers use marimba. Like Jennifer Higdon has some cool stuff with marimba. Steve Reich as well. And I just think using it in something like this is a really nice way to like highlight the springtime nature of this piece, because this piece, like in the morning, Rano, I meant it like the album art. I meant it to be this kind of like cold spring morning where it's super sunny. Um, because the story behind this album art, and I kind of was thinking about it while I was writing it, and I thought marimba really did a good job of like punctuating stuff with that percussive sound, but it was mellow. And I think it kind of felt like the landscape I was imagining in my head when I was writing this, which is something to be compared to like the Southwest in springtime in the United States, because this artwork is actually from a photographer in New Mexico named Cristo. It's his first name. And he was in like a state park in New Mexico the same time I was there. And I just like saw his work on the like the location tag on Instagram. Reached out to him. I was like, I really would love to license this from you. So he let me do that, and then I just kind of like added some stuff to it. I essentially designed this album art aside from the like the photograph, and just really just having that like southwestern kind of rugged landscape, but with that like points of green stuff that's growing and really starting over. And it still can be a little prickly, still like a little rocky in places. And I thought marimba and having that syncopated rhythm was like that was the texture of this piece. And then the strings and the clarinet, it's like all driving and building forward, and you have moments of like smoothness as well, that are just like that sun, just like all the sun. It's kind of what I was trying to hopefully represent with this piece. Let me listen through. Yeah, there's a little synth in the background high up. Sounds like an organ maybe. And then like I love this part, just having the banjo and guitar, because banjo is so underused. So underused. Yeah, I'm gonna pause it right there too. Yeah, banjo's super underused. I think marimba's also really underused as a composer. I know some video game soundtracks have been using banjo lately, that have been cool, and some of them have taken off. So there's definitely like people that like that stuff, which is nice because I love it. I love banjo guitar together, even though most people know me as a pianist. So I just wanted to save all of that for this big moment where it's like something to really kind of jump you into this landscape, this album cover, like just this scenario of that spring light. And I thought banjo guitar equals spring for this. So people ask me like what my favorite parts of the songs are and the pieces I write are, and I think this right here. I just like that moment. I think it's really nice. I mean, this piece has so much optimism in it, in my opinion, where it's just rising and rising, and there's like not that dark, complex emotion of sadness or like kind of layered nostalgia to this one, which I think is a nice change because spring, this is about like rebirth, growth, and um, to me, just like some of those cold mornings I've had out maybe in the desert or in the mountains around here in the Southwest. And those moments of like green where everything kind of comes out, I thought was just really nice. Um, and I wanted to thank Apple Classical, of course, because they have their own new standalone app right now, which I'm sure most people know about. This is my first piece ever. So my first piece to be featured on any of the curators' playlists. It was on new classical, then it was also on Classical Edge, which is great, and there's a lot of talented people on those playlists, that I know and I've listened to, and I'm just like really grateful and honored to be on there. with a piece that I thought was really nice um, for myself. Like I liked writing this. I had fun writing it, and it's just supposed to be like a very romantic, exclamatory piece, um, especially with like this kind of piano part. Having something just like rising and rising to me felt like very romantic, very kind of like this tension that's building over time. But it's not bad. It's happy. Like you have these feelings, and you're want to exclaim it, and like when it keeps building and building and building, and you have this moment, I think it's really nice that I was able to maybe find a way for myself that worked where like everything can work together and all these different elements like I think work together. Because now it's just piano, flute comes in, and then I mentioned like the orchestra right here, you know. Anyway, I just thought it was like really exclamatory, and that's what I wrote in the sheet music. Sheet music is available on my store. If you want to learn this, it's the all my sheet music. If it's not for a larger ensemble, it's going to be written out and notated for piano. That's what most people tend to want. So if you're a guitarist, you know you can still learn it. Of course, you want to learn those parts. I have the banjo part in the sheet music for that section as well. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun writing this. I mean, thanks to Apple Classical for putting on the playlists. Thanks to Be Going to Getty. This is one of my recent like label collaborations. Really kind label. Obviously, did a good job of pitching it. Curators liked it at Apple. Some people have reached out to me to say they like this piece, and that's really kind. And then also, this piece is dedicated to Tom and Rachel, who are two friends of mine who recently got married. So, congratulations to them. And on the sheet music, it'll say Tom and Rachel. And now you know that's just two friends of mine. And this piece means a lot. I wanted to give them something nice um, to say congrats, but then that also that having that like springtime story through the Southwest and being able to work with all these different instruments that I normally work with, and then some I don't, like banjo. Um, but yeah, everything is just rising, and happy to share it with you. And thank you for listening. Thanks for supporting me. These streams will hopefully, get more in depth or more relaxed in some ways too. I don't usually do this, so I'm just trying it out. First one. And as time goes on, just thanks for your patience. If anything's kind of wonky right now, I'll just keep going through some of my music, some of my work, and just let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to hear me cover. I can talk about my inspiration, my process, my favorite moments of some stuff, and just any other random life things that come up. But if you haven't already listened to Rano on streaming or added it to playlists, please do. It really helps me. It really helps. And let's just listen to the ending again, real quick. It started the same, ended the same way it started, with that piano kind of syncopation coming through, and yeah, essentially the same way. There's like a flute stab on the beginning of the piece, but on the whole, goes right back to where it began. And yeah, thanks for being with me. Just hopefully I could like share a little bit about the piece. I wrote this over the course of like 3 days, I think. Started with the piano sketches, filled it in with embellishments, and then I wrote the kind of guitar banjo riffs near the end, just having fun with it and play around with it. But thanks again for watching. Thanks for listening. And everyone who's just supported me and talked about this piece with me, thank you so much. Thank you, Be Going to Getty. And thank you, Apple Classical. Bye.